well. People are joining us like never before, guys. So we're excited that you are here. See some newer people here also as well. Maya, hey, how you doing? Welcome. I think we just did you a welcome on the team page. Welcome here to the business also as well. You guys go ahead and send out those last minute texts. Online also as well. She is a superstar already. What did Tasha Edie in one day? Was it?
In a couple hours, not even 2 hours.
Woo!
And
Like
she's
that. How much she was busy. I know that's right. All right.
crazy.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. Awesome. Guys, we got another minute. We got another minute to go. Go ahead and get your watch parties started. Watch party started. You know, I already got my watch party started, Tasha. Ain't that something? Hold on.
Hey, Gerald, your phone's off mute, on mute, unmuted.
No, I'm good. I'm not on mute.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Hold on.
How about that, Jeff? Testing 1, 2.
No, let me.
All right, you guys just hung up on me on the phone.
Right, no worries. Call back in. Yeah, call back in real quick.
Calling back in, sir.
All right.
Awesome. I got my watch party started too.
You know what this party started, right? Party started quickly, right?
All right. I'm gonna give you an introduction, bro. Guys. I want to thank each and every one of you for actually, guys. I'm joining on this call on this afternoon. Whether you're joining on the conference call line, you're on you're on the Zoom itself, you're on the watch party, somebody else's watch party. I want to thank you for actually joining us. You're in for a treat because we have knowing that Mr. Gerald Parker, district director with this story. But you're going to actually hear why him, along with now thousands of individuals, have made this company, MWR Financial, their home-based business of choice. Okay? And I'm not going to ask you to stun the guys because after you start to join, you're going to hear this man all the time because he opens up our company calls, he does open up the trainings, he hosts our meetings, and you're going to see why he does that, guys, because he is no other but a success story in this company, in this industry, and he knows a lot about this company, guys. So, Mr. Parker, we are thank you for actually being on this call tonight to share with individuals, girls. Tell us why MWR Financial, sir. I'm going to turn it on to you. I'm gone.
Mr. Hawkins, listen, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you, sir, for your leadership. Blazing the trail. I'm just following the path that you've set. It's been an honor and a pleasure, a privilege actually to work with you, to learn from you, to grow with you with this opportunity. I hope you got. Are we good?
Yes.
Listen, I'm telling you, now is the time, without question. I have seen so growth in just the group that we started. I mean, 2.5 years ago. Today, with this promotion, with this stimulus credit, with society, the American public, I'm telling you, folks, if there was ever a need to get out, you've got a ticket now to do it with financial. Now, listen, you know MWR Financial. We've been around for 2.5 years. We're a full-service financial strategy designed to help people shift and grow their income. So what are we talking about, income shifting? Well, I mean, it's a financial strategy basically used to help shift back to you because these guys have figured out how to shift it away from you. Now, I got plugged in and have been in since the beginning. And look, I followed the instructions quite well. Why? Because I absolutely needed it. My financial life was in ruin, struggling. Think about it now. Grown man going to work every day, paid on Friday, broke on Monday. You've never had to do it, so you probably don't understand what I'm talking about. I just wasn't willing to do it anymore. Now at 55 years old, Lord have mercy. I know you got more for me than this. So what was I doing wrong? First, I had to figure out, one, it wasn't my money anyway, right? Right? So I couldn't handle a small amount. So I needed to learn how to handle that first before God could bless me with any more. So I said, I'm going to buckle down and figure this thing out. If there's a system out there, if there are tools out there that can assist me and get into the next level, then I need to find those tools. But I couldn't afford to pay a high-powered CPA or financial planner like Terrence Hawkins, $200 to $300 an hour. So what was I going to do? Then MWR Financial shows up and shows me the way. I followed the instructions to the T, did exactly what these guys told me to do. Here are the results. I plugged in with Money Max, all right? Those are the CPAs and financial planner. Those guys looked at my current tax situation, got me back $350 a month. Money I saw on my check 2 weeks later. Now think about it. The pay period prior to that, I was getting paid on Friday, broke my money. You know what I should do on Friday? Fill my car with gas. Why was that so important? Because I had 2 weeks to go back and forth to work, and I'm on a budget. So if you were hanging out with me and you called me on Friday and said, hey, let's do something, you know what I would say to you? I sure hope you're driving. Seriously, because I could not afford to do that. It just didn't make sense to me. But again, that's where I was when this program showed up, folks. So all of a sudden, with my instant pay raise, I got $375. So I'm getting paid every 2 weeks, all right? So $350, so I'm getting paid every 2 weeks. So half of that is $175. So in this particular pay period, I'm $175 to the good. Guess what I did that Friday? Took myself out to a fancy dinner. I like Chinese food, so I went to PF Chang. Look, I sat there for 2 hours. I ordered everything on the menu. The lady said, the waitress kept coming back to the table. She said, you all right, sir? I said, ma'am, look, if it gets any better, I won't be able to stand it. But look, what I thought about while I'm sitting there enjoying that meal, just taking my time, right? And by the way, I ordered enough food where I took the little takeout bags. And so I ate PF Chang Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I had it the last 3 days. But the lady kept coming back and said, listen, I'm doing just fine. But what I thought about is that this is something I should be able to do anytime I want to, right? And it just didn't make sense that I wasn't able to live that kind of life consistently. So then I move on to the second part of the program, which is Credit Max. Now, this part of the program is going to help me enhance my credit score, get them in the best shape possible. Now, I want to say, this is my disclaimer, prior to MWR Financial, my credit was so bad, I couldn't buy a newspaper one time. All of you on this call right now could have co-signed for me, we still wouldn't have got nothing. I'm serious. You hear people talk about identity theft. If they had stole mine, they would have brought it right back to me. Said, man, we can't do nothing with this. So I come out of there with a 128-point increase in my credit score. Now, I ain't got to tell you what it did for me, but I will tell you. 10 feet tall, bulletproof, strongest thunder. It changed everything for me. But here's the other thing. The 128-point increase got me a reduction in my homeowners and automobile premium by $100 a month. So I'm saving even more money. I mean, profound. I didn't realize the insurance companies were looking at your credit score. Well, why was that important? And why does the insurance companies take that approach, right? Because if you got a high credit score, what does that say about you? That you're a person of integrity. Your word is bond, a handshake, and the deal is done. That you're not going to go back. You're not going to create problems. You know what I'm saying? Because you're in good standing. You're a person of character when you have good credit. Someone with bad credit, you're a risk. So the insurance company is going to get their money up front. So your premium is going to be higher. And it just made sense to me at that point. Then I move on to the third part of the program, which is Equity Max. Now, this component of the program is going to help me eliminate debt in record time. All right, so I want to do that. I need to do that because I know the importance of being debt-free. So what I did is drove 15 years of remaining debt into that program, right? And that included a small balance on a mortgage. These guys have positioned me to pay that debt off in 6.5 years. That was 2.5 years ago. 4 years from today, zero balance on everything I'm doing. So now I say to you, you can't get excited about it. I know my Lord and Savior is extremely excited about it. Why? Because I'm not to owe man anything. But you think about this, and here's what I begin to think about. Now, I don't care whether you get paid every week, every 2 weeks, or every month. But when you got paid, say you had no bill, no mortgage, no credit card, no student loan, no car payment, what would your life look like? You'd be skipping and jumping all day long. Believe me. And look, then you create a position where you can start investing money long term to set yourself up where you can do what really needs to be done, which is leave that inheritance. Which brings me to the final piece of the puzzle, Wealth Max. So now that these guys are going to surround me with all these investment consultants. Now I'm very interested in this because I'm going to a job every day, putting money into a 401k. I contribute enough where the company gives me a match, right? But even with the match, the growth of the fund is so slow that I'm scheduled to work for these guys for another 25 years. Now think about it. I was 55 when they showed me the program. You add 25 to that. 80. Well, how was I going to get to work in a wheelchair? But listen, here's the thing. Unfortunately, I know many people in that same situation right now who have made their mind up that they're going to work until they die. I didn't want to be one of those persons. So I said to those guys at Wealth Max, show me a vehicle or help me create a vehicle that will get me out sooner rather than later. And then these guys started talking to me about this whole concept of self-banking, a private reserve account, something I've never heard of. They tell me I can have a fund, I can put money into it, have access to it anytime I want it for any reason I need it, never pay taxes on it, and then would be guaranteed never to lose any money. So the first thing I told the guy, I said, man, that's a rich man's game. Where am I going to get $10,000 or $20,000 to play the game on this level? So the guy said, you don't need it. And the guy being Eric Elam, he says, we'll take the same $350 that we saved in taxes and we'll jumpstart the investment account for you. Now, keep in mind, I'm growing my MWR financial business, so all this new money from MWR Financial thrown toward the investment vehicle. Turns out the private reserve account that they helped me set up is paying me 10 times more than my 401k, put me in a position to retire in 10 years versus 25. What in the world is going on? I'm playing the game on the level of the big boy. You hear me? It's insane. I didn't even know that this stuff exists. How did I miss out? Listen, you can't play this money game if you don't know the rules. You got to surround yourself with people like Terrence Hawkins, Eric Elam. And these guys are pros at this. They studied this business of money. The man told me once, here's how it works. If you're sick, you seek out a doctor, right? Licensed, trained professional. All right? If you're in trouble, you find your lawyer. Licensed, trained professional. You got money problem? You find you a CPA or a certified financial planner or somebody that understands this business of money, licensed, trained professional. This is the only way we're going to win this thing. And until the majority of us figure this out, we're going to struggle paycheck to paycheck. And it just doesn't make sense because the system is actually geared to strap you, to not allow you to be free. So when all this stuff happened for me through MWR Financial, I'm talking my membership, that afforded me all of these financial experts. These guys helped me get my financial life on track for the first time in my life. I knew where I was going, how I was going to get there, and I knew how it was going to end, right? So when all that happened for me, I knew a million people that needed it to happen for them because everybody I knew was struggling. Everybody I knew was broke. All right? And I said, hey, man, listen, there's a plan. So then MWR Financial says to a guy like me, this is Gerald, you go tell this story, and we'll pay you a ridiculous amount of money. So my first question was, do I need to learn how to repair credit? No, we got experts. They do all the work. Do I need to learn how to do taxes? No, Mr. Hawkins, all those guys, the experts do the work. But do I need a license to invest? You won't be investing any day, Gerald. Just tell the story. So I started telling the story to anybody who would listen. At my job, at my church, at the gas station, at the grocery store, it did not matter because everybody I knew needed to hear it. And when I say ridiculous, it's gotten so ridiculous that 11 months ago, I walk away from a $65,000 a year job to do this full time. You hear me? That's what I'm saying. That's the opportunity that we got in front of us now. I wake up every morning when I'm done sleeping. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I'm telling you what, listen, I told some people the other day I'm a free slave. I got my papers. I'm free to move like I want, to do like I want. Any way, anytime, any place. I'm in control. Normally, 7 o'clock, listen, 2 more hours. If I was working, I'd be in the bed by 9 to get ready to go to that man's job tomorrow morning. I might stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. It don't matter. It ain't like I got a job to go to. Listen, here's what I did. The first Monday that I was scheduled not to return to work, you know, I had my alarm clock set. I've been doing it for years, so it was set at 6 a.m. every single morning. I forgot to turn it off when I left my job. So that Monday morning that I wasn't scheduled to go to work, the clock went off. I was so upset, but I couldn't believe it. I said, look at this. This is not supposed to be going on. So you know what I did? I took the clock and threw it out the window. That's it. It's over. No, I ain't got to do that no more. Ain't got to do that no more. So now here we come in the midst of this crisis. And I tell people, listen, you talk about a home-based business. This is what I've been doing for 11 months. And so they restricted my travel a little bit, right? But that's okay. I still have a home-based business, so I can stay at home and continue to grow my business. Here's the most amazing thing. I'm talking to people every day who are crying. I just sent a box of Kleenex to a guy the other day. He's crying so much because he's losing money. He can't even work right now. His business has been shut down. So I'm saying, look at this opportunity, and we can find a about this. See, at the end of the day, folks, here's what I want you to understand. What we're doing is creating our own economy. Do you hear me? So it doesn't matter what the economy does. Within this network of people, we're creating our own economy. How do I know that? My money has increased every single day since this crisis began. I've had more people join my business in the past 3 weeks than I have in the past 6 months. Why? Because people are finally waking up and realizing there's a need to have a home-based business. There's a need to have another stream of income. See, most of us were not smart enough to understand the importance of stacking money away years ago for a time such as this. So if we were smart and had done what we needed to do and we did right by our money, this crisis really wouldn't be as severe as it may be to you right now. What would happen if you had $50,000 to $100,000 set aside right now that you could put your hands on? So what if the prices lasted another 6 months, 8 months, 9 months? Would you be worried if you had that kind of money? See, so now is the time for us to wake up and understand the importance of positioning ourselves. So in the event that this situation comes around again, that you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry at all. Listen, I called a barber friend of mine 2 weeks ago. And I said, hey, I got something I want to share with you. But before I could even speak, he said to me, Gerald, I just got up off my knees praying to God that someone would deliver me and help me in this situation. He's totally shut down. He can't cut hair, so he can't make money. He's got no money saved. He's got no money invested. He has no cushion to fall back on. And then I make the call. And I said, don't you worry, brother. I got you. You know what he did? Signed up 3 barbers that day, qualified for the guaranteed income by adding 1 customer. Invested $129 and made $340. You think he's excited? This guy is fired up and he's going to get it. And think about it. How many barbers does he know? He started thinking, he said, you know, when I went to barber school, there's about 25 guys in my class. I said, let's call those guys. They need you. They need you bad right now. So beauticians, hairstylists, school teachers, ex-restaurant workers, all of those people need to hear from you right now. I've got a niece who is a hairstylist, and she called me the other day. She said, I applied for unemployment, but you know, me being self-employed, I didn't qualify. And then now they're telling me that it's going to be nearly the end of the month before this SBA package is finished for the state of North Carolina, so that she can apply for money as a self-employed person, right? So I'm saying to her, listen, I'm in the same situation, but I ain't trying to apply for no loan, nor am I waiting on $1,200. I got money going and coming. This thing is working in a major way. Listen, and nobody's running from me on this. All I'm saying to people is that, look, I've got a way out. I've yet to meet anybody that says to me, Gerald, what you're talking about sounds real good, but I got that covered. You ain't got this money thing covered. You fool some, but you can't fool me. I'm telling you, man, you got to get your financial life in order for the sake of your children. If not for yourself, but if it doesn't matter to you, at least do it for your children. Don't leave them strapped. It doesn't make sense. I told somebody the other day, listen, go to a black funeral. Why everybody crying? Seriously, there's a difference between the two. The reason is because they done left so much debt. The person that passed away left so much debt, so much of a financial burden. That's what them folks are crying about. It should be a day of rejoicing. You should have your inheritance in place so your kids won't have to ever worry about what's going to happen next. Set themselves up. We talk about this investment vehicle with this private reserve account. This is the point I'm trying to make at the end of the day. We need to get serious about our money. We've got a chance to do it with this program. Look, what this investment account has done for me, this PRA, and I've set up more than 1, 2 to be exact. I've got my daughter covered. I've got my grandson covered. I'm now working toward my great-grandchildren. These are my unborn grandchildren. My grandson's name is Caleb. These will be his kids. These kids will never know me. I'll never know them, but they'll know me. Why? Because I'm going to leave them millions. And when your great-grandchildren go to their house to visit them, when they walk in the house, they see a picture of me above the fireplace. And they'll say, who is that? That was Papa. He got it all started. See, the curse, I'm breaking the curse, man. I told my daughter, there's somebody in this family that's got to make some money and have some money, and it might as well be me. And then I find an income opportunity like MWR Financial. First of all, they help me get my financial life in order using these tools, systems, and experts. And then they add to it an income opportunity that I could share with people. I'm bringing something to the table that everybody that you and I know needs. Everybody that you and I know needs. And it wasn't hard for me because everybody around me was broke. Everybody around me was struggling, paycheck to paycheck living, man. And I'm like, we can we can stop doing this. We don't have to keep doing this. No way. We don't have to grind through, because at the end of the day, listen, here's what I say to people. I'm in the prediction business now. I can predict your future, right? I told somebody I was going to go to the mall and get a turban and put it around my head and set up a sign and said, I'm going to tell futures. And you just give me your hand and I'll ask you a few questions. One of the questions is, what you do for a living? If you say you have a job, and then if you don't see yourself doing any more than that, I can tell you what your future looks like. If that's all you're doing and that's all you want to do, you're going to die broke. Period. That's how it's going to be. Seriously. And then the sad part is you teaching that to your children. Do you really believe for a minute that God has given you life so that you could come to this earth and spend 30 or 40 years working for somebody else, never tapping into your true ability and your gifts and the talents that he's given you, and then die? You really think that what this is all about? No, sir. I'm going down swinging. I'm giving it everything I got, man. I'm a free man, and you're a free woman. You can do it too. Anybody can. The only reason I'm an executive director right now, simply because I started before you did. Anybody can do this. This is honestly the easiest money I've ever made. I ain't breaking no sweat yet. You see me sweat? No, sir. This is crazy. Listen, I've never seen anything like this at all. Brian House, the CEO and founder, man, God bless him. I'm telling you, he's a man who is willing to reach back and help other people succeed. Then he partners with a guy like Terrence Hawkins, probably one of the sharpest financial minds in the country. And we put all this stuff together and bring it to the general public. And then he has the heart in this time to offer this program at a rate that just, it still blows my mind. A stimulus credit where you can start your own financial service business for $129. And you know, like I know everybody on this phone, you're going to blow $129 in the next few days on nothing. You think about it. And don't tell me you ain't done it before. Listen, take a $100 bill, go to Walmart, break it, tell me where the rest of the money goes. It's like it grows wings because we can't manage this money. We don't understand how it works. $129. And we do foolish things with money. We got to stop doing that. I met a lady recently who just got her tax money back, and she went out and bought one of them fancy coat bags for $450. I knew the woman personally, so I could ask her this question. So I said to her, how much money you got in the bag? $10? What? I mean, listen, I would have rather spent $100 on the bag and had $350 in cash in my pocket. We have got to get our monies right. We have a real way to get it right now with MWR Financial. Folks, I'm telling you, if there was a chance, if you're serious about getting your financial life in order, first of all, this is the one right here. Every now and then, a good one comes along, and we have got it. We have got it. We're sitting in the catbird seat. This thing is just starting. You know, we launched this company in 2019 in August. We just got started. And I'm willing to bet, I don't know what the numbers are as far as since Friday, 12 o'clock, and I don't know what they'll be at the end of the day, but I'm telling you, I believe thousands more people have joined this opportunity since Friday at noon. I'm telling you, everybody that I've talked to, that I've plugged in personally, have said to me, and I went back to all those people that I talked with before that were struggling trying to get to $228.97 to get in. So here we are now with a $100 break with this credit, and now you got a chance to get into it for $129.97. It wasn't hard to do. It wasn't hard to do because everybody's struggling. They're looking for a way out. We have got the ticket. Honestly, if America would just wrap their arms around MWR Financial, we could lead them out of darkness. We can do it with this program. I'm telling you, we're bringing hope like you would never believe before. People don't have to keep living in these situations under this pressure. You don't have to do it anymore. Speaking of pressure, because I got my financial life in order, I've lowered my blood pressure. Matter of fact, I don't even need to take blood pressure pills anymore. I went to my doctor. I said, listen, I've been reading about the side effects. He had me on this blood pressure medication called lisinopril, right? Some of you may have known about it. You're probably using it right now yourself. Listen, let me tell you something. You don't have to do it no more. I went to the doctor. I said, man, listen, I've been reading about the side effects. I said, now, if I keep taking this medication, I'll be coming back to you to get a liver transplant in 10 years. I don't want to do that. How do we avoid this? So he gives me this chart. I can change my diet, eat some different foods. He gave me this workout regimen and all that kind of stuff. And then he gives me this monitor. He said, I'm going to give you this monitor for 30 days. He said, now, you check your blood pressure every day. So I can't cheat because the monitor's going to record it. And if your blood pressure records perfectly, over the next 30 days, I'll get you off the medication. So I said, okay, doc, I'm gonna work your plan, but I'm gonna work mine too. So I changed the eating habits, tried to do a little bit of workout. I wasn't real successful with that. But what I did is got my money right. You see, because that's where my pressure was. Waking up, listen, going to bed worrying about money, waking up worrying about it, dragging it with me throughout the day. Lord, how am I gonna have enough to do the things that I need to do for myself and my family? It's crazy, it just doesn't make sense. So listen, after 30 days, my MWR financial business is growing. My debt load is going down. I got my investment vehicle set up. I'm on my way to a bright financial future. I go back and see him. I give him the little thing that he gave me to read my pressure. He checked it off. Sure enough, 30 days, my pressure was right on point. And he says, did you do the exercise? I said, not much. He said, did you change the eating habits? I said, a little bit. And he said, well, what do you contribute to this success? What happened? What'd you do? What'd you do different? I said, doc, I got my money right. That's it. It took all the pressure off, man. It took all the pressure off. And that, I know that ain't my only, I mean, I'm not the only one that had that kind of pressure. I think everybody faces the same kinds of thing. So, I mean, you imagine a man going to a job every day, boss talking trash to him, treating him any kind of way, paying him what he thinks he's worth. He still ain't making the kind of money that he needs to really set himself free or do the things that he needs to do for a family. Then he get home, his kids looking at him sideways, wife talking trash. I mean, you talk about pressure. That's pressure. And then you go back and do that over and over and over again. And then you give me a chance to be in business for myself, to commit the time. I mean, no, listen, I'm working less for myself than I was when I was working for the job. Do you understand that? Them guys said, look, they had me on a salary, so I was capped. So if the man said you needed to work an additional 4 hours on a given day, I didn't have no choice. What I was gonna say? I ain't gonna do it, huh? And I needed this job, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Come on, man. I mean, I know I don't have to deal with that anymore. I have a chance now to affect the lives of so many people around this country, to make a difference, to be able to impart into their lives the good news of MWR Financial. Folks, I'm saying if you're on this call right now, and you're watching this video, if you have not aligned yourself with this opportunity, I say do so now. Because if not now, then when? And if not MWR Financial, then what? So I ask people, you got a plan? Most people don't have a plan. So if you don't have a plan, this is the plan that you need to move your life forward. And look, understand this clearly too. I want you to get this. MWR Financial is not the calling. So the work that God has for me to do is much greater, right? But God knows I need the financial means to get to the work that he's called me to do. So where do we get the money from? MWR Financial. This is the means to the end. Let this be the bridge to finance your true dream, your real vision, what God has called you to do. Listen, $30,000 a month in Jesus' name, boy, I'll shake the world up. They would, man, come on. What kind of difference could you make? What kind of impact could you have? What do you want to do? Build a school? A training center? Apartment complex? What do you want to do? There would be no limit. Want to build a church? It does not matter. When you position yourself with this kind of income, the sky is the limit. And here's the joy for me. With all these partners that I've partnered with, Jatasha Harris, Terrence Hawkins, all these great people, man. And ain't it great being around people that think like you? People that have dreams and goals and vision, and they want something. The conversations are different, man. There ain't a whole lot of nonsense and craziness going on. But when you surround yourself with business partners like this, and let's just say that I'm $20,000 a month, the MWR Financial. Jatasha's $20,000 a month. Terrence, we know, is about $40,000 a month. But anyway, so we decide collectively together that we're going to make an impact, that we're going to make a difference in a community, whatever it might be. Build a school. But if we've got that kind of income, what can't we do? Partnering together, we can change the world. And we ain't got to go to no bank begging for no money. We got our own bank. You see what I'm saying? With that leverage, with that kind of income, there's nothing that we can't do. This is the power in what you have here, folks. I'm telling you, don't miss this. Don't miss it. Don't call me Monday and talk about, I want to get it, man. No, son, you better do it now. You better make your decision now. And for those who are struggling financially, that are on the fence, we got till midnight, so there's just a few hours left. I want to tell you this. I'm going to be totally transparent with you, Ken. When Brian House called me about this opportunity, Truth be told, I didn't even have the $228. Grown man going to work every day, paid on Friday, broke on Monday. As bad as I needed it, I didn't have it saved, I didn't have it invested, I didn't have it under no mattress. And look, here's the sadder part for me. Everybody around me that I reached out to help me was just as broke as I was. I called my daughter. I said, baby girl, I need $228 just till payday. I think I found my way out of this financial mess I got myself into, and I can free myself, but I need to make this investment. You know what she said? She said, Dad, I was about to call you. I need a loan. I said, what? You called the wrong day. My brother, who's on disability, said, man, you know I would help you, but you got to wait till the first of the month. I said, no, I can't wait till the first of the month. Yeah, my best friend called him. Man, I ain't got it. You know, I'm waiting on Friday. What's happening on Friday? Payday. The man asked me, he said, when you get paid? I said, Friday. He said, no, your bills get paid on Friday. And that's where I was. But now, keep in mind, I did have $228, but that $228 was set aside for some bills that were due that week. That week, right? So as I'm making these phone calls, striking out at every corner with everybody I knew trying to get to 28, couldn't get it done. I pulled on the side of the street and I began to weep like a baby. Because it just didn't make sense for me. A grown man, all this money coming through my hands, and I can't put together $228 that would change my life. And so what I decided to do, after careful prayer, and then waiting to hear from God, and he kept saying to me, I've already given you what you asked for. How many times you going to ask me to answer this prayer for you? So he had given me MWR Financial. That was my way out. So I took that to mean, Lord, I ain't going to pay these two bills that are due. And I didn't. But look, the reason I didn't pay the bills, here's my logic. I knew how that was going to go. So I just wasn't going to answer the phone that week because they had been late on those bills before. Listen, they would call me. I said, look, they got me working out of town this week. I'll be back on Friday. You know what I'm saying? I would tell them stuff like that. But I'm saying I wouldn't just go answer the phone that week. But look, what I've done, I took the $228 and invested in MWR Financial, got my money back in 2 weeks after consulting with the CPA. Those two bills that were due, I've since caught them up and paid them off. Zero balance of both those two bills. You see, that's where I was. But now I think about it, nearly with tears in my eyes. What would have happened had I not made a decision that day? I would have been in the same situation right now, scratching to make a living, you know, just getting by, and that would have been it. And then and destined to do that until I died. Nowhere in the world. This is by far the best decision that I've ever made in my entire life. It has changed everything for me, and my life will never be the same again as a result. You can have the same story, but you've got to move on this. You got to move on this. You got to move on it now. I'm telling you, and if not now, then when? What are we waiting for? Some perfect moment that happens? You're waiting for the next pay period? But listen, if this situation, this crisis hasn't shown you something, it should show you that you need to get it together. We need to find a way to get our financial life together. And if 228, honestly, or say 129 is a struggle right now, ever the more reason you need to be a part of this. There's no question about it, because it just doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me as a grown person. And you think about it, you started working at age 18 and you worked till 65. During that course of time, $1 million has gone through your hand. See, a lot of us still right now make enough money, but it's what we do with it. See, until we surround ourselves with these experts, we're never going to figure this thing out because it just runs through your hand. It's a very difficult thing to manage without proper help. But see, we've been priced out of the game because the price is so high to get to these financial experts, $200 to $300 an hour, right? But now we've made this thing affordable for the average everyday person. Anybody can access our systems. But here's the beauty of it. We can take a person, a W-2 employee, averages the pay raise of $300 to $600 a month, infuse that new money into that family's home in a period of 2 weeks. As soon as their next pay period, and they've not recruited the first person in MWR Financial yet. That's the insane part about what we're doing. And then the pay raise itself will cover the upfront cost and the monthly. And look, now let's talk about that monthly. $119.97 is going to be your ongoing cost once you plug in. But look, but MWR says to me and you, the representative, the same thing they say to the customer. If you refer 3 customers, we'll waive your $79.97 membership fee, and your cost to own this business is $40 a month. So when they told me that, because when I saw the 119, you know what I saw? A bill. I said, let's eliminate that. So they said, all you need is 3 customers. You know what I did? I got 5. Why did I get 5? I bought the extra 2 for cushion, just in case one of the 3 didn't pay, because I never wanted to pay the 119. My cost from day one, when they hit my car for the second billing cycle, $40. My cost to own this business is $40 a month, and only a guy as smart as Terrence Hawkins that knows about these numbers can help me understand how that's even possible. To be able to generate thousands of dollars a month, I left a $65,000 a year job. You do the math. All right. So to be able to generate thousands of dollars a month, and it costs me $40 a month to run this operation. And look, I got to tell you this before I go. I can talk all day. How many time I got? Let me tell you something. This is it. This is it. This is your ticket out right here. Get excited about this. But look, I'm driving the car of my dream. I live in the high rent district of the city, right? I'm telling you, I'm living the life. I'm living something. Oh my God. I'm living in a loft apartment on the 3rd floor with a pool view. Again, driving the car of my dream, living in the high rent district. I'm living the life of luxury, man. These guys do everything here. They pick your garbage up, even there, park your car for you if you need it. I'm telling you. Listen, when I looked at the place, Terrence, you've been here to see it, Jantuah as well. The lady said, well, why do you want to make this change? I said, I'm upgrading my lifestyle. Yeah, I'm upgrading my lifestyle. Yeah, and then you know what else I figured out too? I got another letter from the insurance company said they were going to decrease my coverage my cost by even more. Why? Because my location changed. See that zip code? That makes a difference. That zip code makes all the difference in the world. Well, look, let me tell you about my car. All right, so when I got car qualified, I didn't have a car payment. So I said, I don't want to take on any more debt because they're teaching us to eliminate debt, right? But the more I thought about it, I said, if somebody else is going to pay for it, I might as well get me a car. So I said, okay, I'll get the car of my dreams. Now, let me tell you what motivated. When you go to the MWR financial presentation, there's some pictures of some vehicles up there. Even you'll see them in your back office when you look at the car bonus. One of those pictures was a Mercedes-Benz D-Class 350. So I looked at it, I said, that's a car I want. I actually was under the impression that's the kind of car I was supposed to get, being that I was a qualified executive district director with MWR Financial. I figured that's what all the elite drive. So anyway, I've always wanted a Mercedes, dreamed about having one, could never afford one. So here's what I do. Now, I've made some bad financial decisions in my life. Some of those decisions were so bad that I dumped hole so deep, it took me years to climb out of it. Now, I'm never going to make another bad financial decision again because I'm surrounded now with all these financial experts. So when I got car qualified, I called the experts. I said, listen, I've just qualified for the $500 a month car allowance. I said, I'm going to take advantage of it. How should we proceed? You know what those guys told me? They said, Gerald, okay, we have you on a budget. All right, we got $300 a month disposable income, no more. Now, we got your credit score at its max, so we know we get the best rate that the bank has. But also now we need to determine what we're going to pay for the car so we can determine how much down payment we need to stay within that $300 range. They even helped me do all the internet research on the vehicle once I told them what I wanted. All right, so when I got all that paperwork squared away, finished my consultation, I get up the next morning, put on my best suit. Terrence, I walk down to the bank. I walk in there and I said, introduce me to the person handling your car. So they introduced me to her later. To the lady, I look in the eye, I shook her hand, I told her, I said, look, now I want to drive the car. I don't want to live in it. I'm only going to pay you $300 a month. She looked at me like I was crazy, took my paperwork, went to her office. I saw her go across the hall to another man's office. He checked it off. She came back to me and she said, Mr. Parker, whatever you want to do. Listen, for the first time in my life, I was able to dictate the term. I walked in that bank just like I owned it. Most people got to go to the bank and take whatever rate they give me. You go in there begging, huh? I went in there just like I was the president of the bank. Told me what I was going to do. They went for it. Listen, I walked out of there with a $312 a month car payment. MWR Financial gives me $500 a month. I take the difference of the money and put it into the investment account. That's only because of the discipline I gained from the program. Now, 2.5 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. No, I didn't have that kind of discipline. I'd have blown that money. Yes, sir, I'm almost ashamed to tell you what I'd be doing with that money, $200-some. Listen, man, but I'm taking that money, I'm putting it into the investment account, I'm moving myself forward. This is insane. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But listen, you just got to come to the table with a made-up mind. All the tools and systems and experts are in place. If you want to win, you can win now. and you can win big. Life is good. 11 months. I'm unemployable now. No, I ain't gonna never get a job. J-O-B, just over broke. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, and you don't have to do it either. I want to be a free man. I want to be able to take my time, my talent, and cultivate myself and master my abilities, the gift that God has given me, man. You got to have time to do that. You can't work a job and then try to hustle something part-time and all that. At some point, you got to break away from it, but you got to have a vehicle that can get you there. MWR Financial is that vehicle. I strongly encourage you to get back to the person that invited you to this call, and you get yourself plugged in. And take a hard look at that compensation plan, because these guys are paying a ridiculous amount of money for you and I to tell this story. I've never seen anything like it. And you mean to tell me, though, and I'll close with this, all I've got to do is share this opportunity with others and get paid a ridiculous amount of money to bring something to people that they absolutely need, to deal with the issue that people have been struggling with since the beginning of time. And I show up with the answer, with the solution. It don't matter. It doesn't matter whether you got $2 in your pocket, $2 million in your pocket. I got something for you. You need this. You need to talk to me. And listen, I've gained such confidence with it. Boy, I come at them hard. I approach them. Listen, if you ain't doing this, then what you doing? If you ain't doing this, then you struggle. Unless you've already surrounded yourself with financial experts. I'm telling you, listen, let's stop playing. Let's get ourselves together. Let's get our financial life in order. Let's use the tools and systems that MWR Financial has developed, and let's propel our lives to a totally different level. So I heard someone say, at the end of this crisis, are you going to be better or worse? I'm going to be better. I met a guy the other day, and he talks about getting a stimulus check for $1,200. So I asked him, I said, how much are your bills? He said, $3,000 a month. So what are you going to do with $1,200? And then they're going to keep sending you that money, and the same $1,200 they send you, you're going to get taxed on that at some point next year. But look, the $1,200 that they send you, it's your money anyway. Where do you think they're getting it from? When they told me, when Terrence Hawkins broke it down to me, where the average W-2 employee is paying in 37%, up to 37% of the money they earn. That's a third of your income. January, February, March, April, you working for the government. The first 4 months of the year, you're giving that much, a third of your income. Now you think about it. If we know 150 million people, well, that number has declined. There's 10 million people unemployed at this point. But 150 million people going to work every day, paying taxes, right? So let's say the average taxes annually for those 150 million people is $5,000. $5,000 times 150 million. Somebody do the math. That's the kind of money that your government's collecting. And what are they doing with that money? I'm curious. What are they doing with that kind? I mean, seriously, that's amazing. And then they give you back a small portion of it with no interest tied to it. And you seem to be okay with that. I want my money right now. I got my money back in instant pay raise. And listen, I say to people, with an instant pay raise, if you got that, you look at your check stub, you saw what you got paid on Friday. And just imagine that money being in your check on Friday instead of out of your check. And if it was in your check, would you be behind on your bills? Could you keep up with your tithes and offerings? Could you pay 10% now instead of 2.5? I mean, seriously, could you do more for your family and yourself if you had that money, accessing that money right now? See, that's what the wealthy people are doing. They ain't waiting on no taxes. Listen, you hear people talk about wealthy people never paying their fair share of taxes. Well, I'm one of them now. Only because of this program, nothing I would have ever figured out for myself. This thing works, folks. Align yourself with MWR Financial and win. Win big. Listen, you deserve it. It's here for you. Sometimes the hardest thing for me to do in this business is try to convince folks that you're worthy of this level of income. I say that you are. I know that I am. And it can happen for you just like it's happened for me. Let's do this thing and let's do it big. Let's continue to be the savior for this country, because that's what we are right now. I want to understand the position that you're in. We're going to be the ones that's going to turn this thing around. That we're going to create the economy that everybody's going to be a part of, and then they can make some real decisions about. I told one guy, listen, let's put you in a position in the next 6 months, if you're out of work that long, let's generate enough income through your MWR financial business where you, and in 6 months, if you don't want to go back to work, you don't have to. Let's give you some options. Let's give you some choices here. That's the possibilities of what you can do. I mean, you think about it. I think I heard Jantuah and Gerald talking about somebody we plugged in. We just had it happen today to 2 or 3 people on our team where they plugged in, put 3 people into the program. They qualified for $50 for every person you're sponsoring. So that's $150, but the momentum bonus kicks in, so that's another $150. So that's $300, and plus they put in a customer, that's $40. So they made $340 from a $129 investment, and then come tomorrow morning tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock, they're going to get a ding from MWR Financial to say you just earned your guaranteed income of $5, $150 a day. We doing this in 24 hours. Where you going to go to do this? Unless you go, what are you doing? Selling drugs? But hey, you can't move no money this quick. No way. Legally, MWR Financial, folks, get in the game. Please help yourself, help your family. I love you guys. Let's stay the course. Let's continue to put this out here, and let's save America. Because it's up to us. I don't see anybody else doing it. Ain't no major corporations stepping up. Bill Gates, where you at? Ain't nobody stepping up to help these people. We got to do this, and we can do it because we've got to be able to do it. Thank you guys so much. Love you so much. Happy Easter too. Jesus rose on Easter Day. That was my first Easter speech when I was a kid.
Well, I tell you what, Mr. Parker, thank you so much. Here's what you need to do for all the guests. Get back with the person that invited you. Go to their website, get started, because we're going to be right back here at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be right back at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So the person can show you how you can invite those people and do exactly what Mr. Parker said. Start getting your membership for free. With that being said, guys, this is T. Hawk and Gerald Parker, and we out. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye, Tasha.